Yesterday, another demon was revealed to the world. So far, only 2 of the 9 demons had been so brazen to reveal themselves as having unnatural powers. This one many had been suspicious of for a long time, but now it is confirmed. Demons often like to prey on those with weak minds and expose and humiliate them for things that they say and do. This time was no different.
Who goes above them? Loud, because they're 2-0, despite the fact that, listen, we all know that they haven't been playing that well. You can watch them with your wee little eyeballs and see that they're just a little off in terms of their coordination. They're not on point individually. They're doing a bit of trollery in terms of the housing that they use.
We were early on the Furia train. Morocco all the way. Here we go, boys. Let's go. Originating from Brazil, this demon was so ancient and so terrifying that people refused to say his name, often staying completely silent rather than say it out loud. And as no one would dare say it, over time, it was forgotten to history, leaving people to know him only by quotation marks with silence in between. Thus today, he is simply known as quotation marks. So today we are going to take a look at Loud versus Furia because Loud and Aspas just reminded everyone, including myself, that Loud are the best team in Americas. And so we're going to take a look at Icebox here. And yeah, we'll start with round number 3. Loud are attacking, Furia on the defensive side. And really straight away, this round is going to start off pretty well for Loud. This is actually their bonus round. I mean, they are carrying 3 rifles into it, but it is their bonus round. It starts off with this, putting up the Viper wall here, and kind of sneaking through for Sadek, which is not like an uncommon thing necessarily to do, but it catches QCK off guard, as you will see, because he's going to go for the Sage wall here on B, which again is quite a common thing to do, right? But because that wall is there and he's thinking, oh, I'll sneak up here, well, Sadek's going to basically find a free kill. He does manage to get the wall up, which creates this bit of a weird situation where Sadek is kind of trapped in for a second with DG's in. It's kind of a bit of a weird scenario where the wall did go up, and so it does block his path out. And so he is just trapped here for a second, but in time he manages to kind of, just stick around and kind of live long enough, and the harbor wall comes up from Tui's, and you see, yeah, Sadek's like, no, I want to leave. Please let me out. And then they do this wall as well here, Loud, which is a wall they've done before, right? And this wall is just kind of, threatening that, yeah, we can still be here, we can sneak up here and cause problems, and you see the effect that has on DG's in that, he still has to be worried about towards B and potentially sneaking all the way up through yellow. But they do, as we can see, Loud come back towards A now in the 5v4. They send out the harbor cascade just there, they send in the drone, and in they start to come into the site. Now, what is about to happen is kind of really cool, and I'm not sure it's fully meant, but this was a big part of Loud's game plan, which was to get Aspas up onto the top of screens. They did it in multiple rounds, and this one is no different. This round was a bit different in terms of how they went about doing it, but you see the alarm bot goes off there, and then we get the cove being put up there by Tui's. Now, what happens then is this cove goes up, and so Mazin here starts shooting the cove, right? Which is a completely normal thing to do because this cove just looks like a, pretty ordinary thing to allow people to, get across and maybe get the spike down, right? Just allow you to cross across from here. Seems completely normal, and the completely normal response would be to just shoot it, right? And have it come down, and then you'll be able to see those people crossing. But whilst that's going on, Aspas is updrafted up on top of the screen, so as Mazin is, shooting the cove, he's now just going to die to Aspas. And there you go. And now Aspas, coming on top of screens, he's now going to see both the Sova and the Killjoy's gun just sticking out here. So as we're kind of going back and forth on this site, Aspas is going to get this kill just here, and then you're going to see he's going to dash in with the dart coming across there. He's now going to dash across because you saw on replay that he did actually see this gun, and then manages to dash away from Digits in, knowing that, like, the timings of when a rotate could be coming in. So end up in a 3v1, and they manage to, yeah, take this site and win this round. And really, obviously this round did start off maybe a bit fortunate for them, the way it kind of started. They were in a 5v4, pretty early on. But then the conversion here, and just this quick idea of just having this cove, and then Aspas, punish the player shooting it for it, and then from that position, Aspas getting 2 more kills, was really a sign of things to come. And now let's come to round number 6, which is probably one of my favorite rounds from Loud, and, well, you'll see why. It's a really cool round. Well, as cool as Icebox can be, I guess. What we're going to see here is an orb just in mid, and it's just going to be a fast A hit. Basically, we're going to see that Furia are playing, you know, very passive on A here. It's just the Viper for now, and one of the reasons that they're probably doing that is because they have the Killjoy lockdown here with Khalil, and so it's very normal to just come and play, you know, retake A, you know, with the Killjoy lockdown down here, very good Killjoy lockdown, and so Loud, perhaps knowing that in a sense, well, they're going to go for their Harbor ult, as you can see, and it is going to, you know, ping this Viper, but, you know, eventually the Viper leaves, but they know with a Harbor ult here, and, you know, only one person, that person with a Killjoy ult on the team as well, is probably just going to retreat, right? They're kind of predicting what's going to happen, and so they go for this deeper Harbor wall, and we'll see in some of these rounds, and it did happen in multiple of these rounds, where Loud show you the advantage of taking, you know, deeper sight than most do. On both sides of Icebox, it's very common to, you know, just try and get the spike down and then everyone run back, and you take as little as the sight as you possibly can, right? Be that on B, where, you know, oh, we're just going to plant here and then we're going to all run back and play all around here, right? And then, you know, same thing on A, oh, we're just going to plant high and then we're all going to just run back here and try and spam the spike and whatnot. But Loud here, they kind of at least threaten that they're not going to do that because, you know, they use this harbor wall very, very deep, right? This harbor wall isn't on screens. It's actually on the entranceway here, which you don't normally see. And again, Aspas is going to end up on top of screens just patrolling this area. They get the drone as well. You could tell that this was a big part of their game plan because they did this drone multiple times, where the drone is basically heading this way, right? Obviously with the harbor ult going off, they kind of, you know, they can see that, you know, none of those pings are going off on the other part of the site, so, you know, this drone can kind of just follow these guys in, and you see that Aspas gets up onto screens just here. They get the cove in, they get the spike down, up planted up high, and now even though they, you know, are aware that, you know, this Killjoy lockdown is going to go on, whilst this is going on, I think that these two are going to see each other. I think. And that explains what they do next as well, Loud. Because at first I was like, whoa, this is absolutely galaxy brain. But I think that those two just caught sight of each other, this flanking Sage and this Sova. So now Loud, you know, they start to come back. They're expecting Killjoy lockdown here, right? And in comes that Killjoy lockdown. And only Aspas is up here. And, you know, they're just trusting him to get out and survive, basically. And they decide, well, we got nothing better to do whilst this Killjoy lockdown's going off. We might as well just kill this Sage, right? As we've got nothing better to do, there's not really much to do. So you'll see that all these guys, as Aspas is dashing away, just start to go like, okay, we'll just run at this Sage then. So the Sage has to shoot the dart just there, and now Loud come out, and they want to get this kill. And they do get that kill. Aspas maybe goes makes a bit of a mistake here where he actually, I think, accidentally steps back into the lockdown, and so Khalil does get that free one there, but, you know, now we're in a 4v4, and, you know, they still got utility coming towards the spike, and because they took that deeper site control, you know, even with a Killjoy lockdown, there's just no time left, right? Because it took them quite a while here, Furia, to, you know, actually get into the site and make sure that, oh, is anyone playing really aggressive up there and whatnot, and whilst they're dealing with Aspas dashing away and whatnot, you know, there was just no time left for them to actually get near the spike, and that was kind of an advantage, I think, of doing that deeper wall, right? That it's going to take longer for people to clear out all of those little extra angles that you maybe could be playing that they normally don't have to look at, and so Loud basically get a free round. Now let's come to round number 9, where we see similar sort of themes, where this round, again, is kind of over just straight away. And by this point in the game, it felt like that Fnatic match in the first half, where Loud were just absolutely running it down. They're just going to go for pretty much a fast B hit here, where, you know, they send out the Cascade down here. They're going to send in a Sova Dart. I'm not sure if this is a Sova Dart that either misses or is like planned to land there. Either way, it's kind of ingenious, right? Because you see Mazin's like looking for the Sova Dart up in the sky, the normal locations for it, but it's actually down here, so it still gets the ping, right? Which is kind of what you're looking for a Sova anyway, right? You're looking for that information of pinging someone, and so they get it. And because Mazin gets pinged there, they just decide to, he goes, okay, well, I'll just come and rip your head off then, Mazin. And so they get that first kill. And now you'll see the Furia are unmoved. And one of the reasons that they're unmoved is because there'd been lurks in this game, right? There had been, multiple layers to some of these loud attacks that sometimes Furia had actually punished. But you see this time it's just a full 5-stack. So these guys are a bit slow to kind of react, waiting for maybe someone to lurk or whatnot. But the spike goes down and they do this harbor wall here. And again, it's the same thing where they actually haven't taken full deep site control. They are just playing all the way back here. But this harbor wall and the fact that no one from Furia was there threatens that they might be back here, right? They could be, and later on in the game, there was rounds where they were back there, right? And this is kind of, I think the beauty of Loud and the way that they use this Harbor Viper stuff is that they can just threaten things, right? So what we're going to get from Furia here is a drone from all the way back here, right? And what's going to end up happening in this round is Furia are just going to save. They're 7-1 down. It's a 4v5, and, the spike's just gone down, and they pretty much make the call to save without putting really much of a fight up at all. And the reason is because, again, they've had to use utility, and it takes time to clear these angles that, again, most of the time with just solo Viper, you wouldn't have to even worry about, right? The Sova would just be running up to the Viper wall most likely and droning from there. But they have to use the drone just there, and you see they give it a very meager attempt. Obviously the Viper spits down as well, so that makes it even tougher. And it's just a save. And yeah, Loud again just basically bullying Furia at this point and just threatening so much in these rounds. And essentially this was a round where they got a kill early on, and then it was just over. The round from that point was just completely over until he even hits a nice shot there on DJZin as well to get rid of the op from Furia's hands. And then let's finish here with round number 13, where again we'll see another great Aspas round. And it starts off kind of crazily, to be honest. I mean, they send out this Harbor Cascade on B, and here's Aspas, and it's like this could be 3 people, right? But it's like they just know. Right, it's like they know. And yeah, there is a drone coming out over towards A, so maybe that's a little bit of a clue. Maybe he doesn't do that if they don't do that. But, it's just crazy that he just walks through his own harbor wall and just gets set up straight away on B. Now, interesting thing that Loud were doing as well is they were going for this full frenzy buy, and they did this on both maps on their defense side, which, it's quite an interesting idea to, go just all in on one gun, but it worked for them here. And what we'll see here from Furia actually is, they kind of think about coming towards A. You see that Loud start to rotate across, but then Furia actually decide, nope, we're actually going to go through mid, which as a pistol round idea, and maybe it's off the back of this Harbor Cascade coming up, and, that Harbor Cascade maybe making Furia feel like, they might know that we're here. And so, Furia decide, yep, cancel the plan, let's go towards B through mid instead, and that's what they do. But they send one little straggler here to come and take B main. Fortunately for Deeeeeep, he doesn't expect someone to be this pushed up, and it's Aspas, and, he gets that kill. So what they decide to do is that as they're getting the spike down and the rest of Loud are rotating, they send Mazin across as well, like, okay, you go and deal with Aspas now, you go and try and find that free kill. But Aspas is just relocated completely here, and he completely catches Mazin off guard and gets another one just there. And so now we're in a 5v3, and yeah, it's all panic stations now. I mean, it's kind of a weird round. They sage wall themselves off kind of in a weird way here, because as soon as Kawanzine gets that kill and they put the harbor wall up, I mean, this round's over, right? I mean, there's no way these two can get to the spike in time. And Aspas just decides, okay, well, I'll just get these kills anyway then, because I'm Aspas. And so, yep, Loud win the round, and then from this point, they didn't even lose a defensive round. So it really was kind of just flawless from this point on for Loud. And yeah, they just basically went on to say, yep, we're definitely still the best America's team. Don't worry about it. And if they play like this, there is no... They should go undefeated playing like this, because that was meant to be one of their main competitors, and they absolutely wiped the floor with them here on their map pick. And so whilst in the first 2 weeks, myself and others had kind of thought there was some gaps there wasn't any gaps on this map, at least.